prosperity blueprint. The prosperity blueprint. The prosperity blueprint. The prosperity blueprint. The prosperity.
All right, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the next episode of the Prosperity Blueprint, where faith meets practicality, leadership, and stewardship are exposed. Spiritual insight and real life application is brought to the masses. I am your host, Rasheda Jackson, and I am here tonight with the entrepreneur's pastor. He is the pastor of the Moore Church in Greensboro, North Carolina, none other than Pastor Anthony Knotts. He is my longtime friend, colleague, cohort. We get into all things business, all things finances, all things generational wealth. And so I brought him tonight so that he can literally help some of you break through the mindset that is holding you back from being prosperous. So let's welcome Pastor Anthony Knotts.
Hello, sis. How are you?
I'm excellent. How are you doing tonight?
Outstanding. Getting better.
Evening.
What'd you say?
I said this afternoon, this evening, you doing more, right?
Oh, most definitely. All the way. Yeah. 100%.
100%. That's always the case. And I love the shifting to the more mindset, because we were created for more.
Most definitely.
Designed for more. So we'll get right into it, because I want the people to be able to glean off of all of the knowledge and information that you have to share with them. And then when we get to the end, we'll talk about what it is that you're doing now to help people further their goal or need or pursuit of prosperity. So in your opinion, what is the difference between simply making money and truly living in prosperity?
Oh, wow. First of all, it's a mindset. I mean, the scripture says, beloved, above all things, I want you to prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prosper. Your money or your manifestation will never grow or go beyond your mindset. So oftentimes people think about money from an external perspective, but you have to be rich in your mind. And so it starts on the inside. And as a man thinketh, so is he. So, wealth is a principle. When you think about the word in Deuteronomy, it says, but beloved, it talks about how God wants us. He gives us power to get wealth, to establish his covenant. Well, that word says, when I studied that word power in the Hebrew, it comes from a Hebrew word called coach, and it's spelled Koachh. And coach is a concept, a strategy, and an idea. The Coach pocketbook that's made billions of dollars actually came from a coach, a Koach. So
Wow.
everything that we see on this earth came from a coach, a Koach, an idea. And so a concept, a strategy, a mindset. And so oftentimes people want the external manifestation, but they fail to realize that it's internal first. It starts with mindset. And with mindset, it's imagination. It's an idea. God gives us an idea. I went and watched the Michael movie, and he said something. In that movie, he operated with a sense of urgency when it came to his music and his ideas. And he said something so powerful about an idea or a song. He said, if I don't act on this, God might give it to Prince. And
Oh,
so,
wow.
yeah. And so oftentimes we fail to realize that we're conduits. I have this I-5 framework. And part of the framework, the first part of it is individual. God takes an individual and then he gives an individual an idea. The idea gives you it once you apply it and you implement the idea is designed to bring you increase. That's the third I. And then when increase comes, there is influence, and then influence gives you impact. And so the whole purpose of prosperity is an internal thing that actually helps us to be able to be a witness to God and make an impact in the lives of people and everything. But it's a mindset first. You can prolong the manifestation of it because you won't develop your mind. You have to be able to sustain what you maintain or what you obtain. Oftentimes, we see people like win the lottery and then they broke. NFL players, NBA players, they make it, then they're broke because they don't change the mindset. You got to make the wine skin new if you're going to get new wine.
So tell me, because one of my goals with the Prosperity Blueprint is to give people life application. What is one thing that everybody listening tonight could do that would send them in the direction of that mindset shift that you just explained?
Take control, number one, of your gates, your
Okay.
your eye gates and your ear
Mhm.
gates and your mouth gate. Um, very, very vital. It's interesting that the Bible says this about we know that God told Lot to get out of Sodom and Gomorrah, but Peter says something in the book of Peter. The Bible said that Lot vexed this righteous soul from day to day by dwelling, seeing, and hearing. You
Wow.
have to take control of your gates, your eye gates, your ear gates. And but then also in the book of Judges, I was looking at this the other day. The Bible said that Delilah pressed Samson daily with her words, and
Hmm.
she drove him, she vexed his soul by daily. All he heard was she was saying, "Where's your strength? Where's your strength? Where's your strength?" But so the gate, you got to guard your gates. In the Bible, gates were a place where opportunity, a place of opportunity. They were a place where transactions took place. We have to guard our eye gates and our ear gates. We literally have to monitor what we look at, what we listen to, and what we let come out of our mouth. And so you got to guard them, but then at the
Yeah.
same time, you got to take control and feed. Be in control of what you look at. Be in control of what you listen to. Be in control of what you speak. You have to be intentional in everything. So I think that that's the
Absolutely.
key.
Well, many people struggle, or many people pray for the increase, and they pray for generational wealth, and they pray for prosperity, but then they struggle with stewardship. When we look at the fact that Rockefeller said that we are to do what? We are to control everything, which is what you just bought out, and own. I mean, own everything and control nothing,
Mhm,
because the biblical principle of that is stewardship, meaning that God owns everything. We
mhm.
are just to be managers of it. Do you think that, well, I think part of the, and you can let me know if you agree, but I think part of the issue with the struggle is discipline. It's being able to turn off what we see and being able to turn off what we hear. And some of the times, what we hear is in our circle, it's the
Mhm,
people that we're talking to.
mhm.
How do we express the need, or how do we get people to understand the need for discipline when it comes to stewardship?
I mean, it's all about, the Bible talks about generational wealth. And one of the things that blocks us from creating generational wealth and also passing it down is that we don't know how to delay our gratification. And
No,
that's
that's
what
good.
that's what discipline is learning how to say no even to yourself. You say not, you're saying no now so you can say yes later. And so we got to learn how to delay our gratification. So you got to think about it. The way the mind is set up through neural association, we avoid pain, but we indulge in pleasure. We
Yeah.
avoid pain, but we indulge in pleasure. So discipline is a tough thing when you look at it from a pain perspective. But when you look at discipline from a pleasure perspective, then it actually plays into neural association. And so you're going to get your pain and your pleasure. You just decide if you get your pain on the front end, you get your pleasure on the back end. But if you get your pleasure on the on the front end, you're going to get your pain on the back end. So it's all about discipline. It's all about making a decision and sticking with it. You being consistent in everything and just doing the little things. Like for instance, I'm not saying this to brag, but um, I just recently embraced being plant based. And so Um, I take it one meal at a time,
Right.
one day at a time.
Right.
But my main thing is to be consistent. But I had to trick myself, and by studying and by listening to some mentors, I realized I began to think about the pain of the meat, but the
Mm,
pleasure of feeling better, the
right.
pleasure of my intestines being rested and everything, and I'm living longer. And so I see food now as information and not as taste. But it takes discipline because I go places. I was in the mall today on the food court. Oh my
Why
God.
were you in the food court? No.
Everything was everything was smelling so good. Lady in front of me eating this big piece of pizza. But I had to remember why I started what I started. And so I mean, discipline to a lot of people are cuss words, but we're never gonna get anywhere if we don't exercise discipline.
Now you just tapped into something. You know I'm about to pull it, right?
Go
You
ahead.
had to remember why you started what you started. So when we talk about teaching people or leading them or helping them to understand what prosperity looks like, how can they be reminded? Like that's a good tool to be reminded of why. When we talk about pain and pleasure, the thing that I find is that there is a need, there's a sensitive need, a very thin line between faith and financial responsibility.
Hmm.
There's a almost a false balance there, because you
Hmm.
said a few minutes ago you were expressing the need for us to be financially responsible, how it could be pleasure or pain when we
Hmm.
neuro associate. But
Hmm.
let's look at the fact that sometimes people use faith as a crutch because they've already sought out the gratification. What do you say? What would you say to someone that came to you that was struggling with that need to find that balance?
Well, here's the thing, though, sis. We are called to materialize the spiritual, but what's taking place is in the church we are spiritualizing the material, which then
Oh,
causes us not to use faith. I mean, we don't have
yeah.
to we don't have to put works behind our faith because everything is in heaven. So we have to realize that we are called to materialize the spiritual. Then the word became
To
flesh
bring,
and
yes,
dwelt amongst us.
yes,
But
to
what
bring
we do,
heaven to earth.
yeah, and but what we do is we spiritualize the material. So we make it spiritual, which means that I don't necessarily have to manifest it because it's one day, it's
Uh-huh.
someday, and but it's not Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. It's always in the future, and it gives us a reason to justify it and jump and shout. But we don't have to be a doer of the word that we hear.
But then you also have the financial irresponsibility because they dependent on or using faith as a crutch. I can use this or I can have this gratification right now because I'm God's child and He's gonna give me more. Or
No, no, no,
he's
no.
gonna
I mean,
replace.
yeah,
And that's
and, here's the thing that got me. God shared with me last week. I had a great week last week, but I had to have a great week because I had responsibilities. And so I was like, man, I had a great week. And he broke something down to me. He said, you had a great week because it was have to, not want to.
oh, okay. Come
A lot
through.
of times, a sense of urgency is when you have to, not when you
Yeah.
want to. Think about that. And so when you have to, it creates an urgency. When you want to, you get to put it off
Yeah.
and everything. So I had to put action behind my faith because there were deadlines and everything. But that's why we need deadlines. We don't just need discipline, we need deadlines. And we also, sis, need to have to realize is that God changed Israel's diet in the Old Testament. But when he gave them manna, he gave it to them on a daily basis because he wanted them to exercise discipline. Even
Right.
on the sixth day, when they got to get enough for 2 days, that was a discipline.
Right.
And so God is a God of discipline, but discipline is a decision. and then we act on that decision and everything. So, um, yeah, I mean, it's listen, let me first of all,
Yeah.
taking me 57 years to get to this point. I mean,
Yes.
57 years. Me and God be talking to God like, oh God, why you let the light bulb go off at 56, 57, and everything, but better late than never and everything. So yeah. So I'm not sitting there like I got it all together. I'm in between, not enough, and I'm on my way to more than enough. But I realize I gotta be disciplined. I
That's
have
right.
to be disciplined.
We got to be disciplined. We got to be consistent. And we got to put in the work because I was talking to someone else earlier today and I said, people, they want to see the results. But the difference between this client that I was talking to and what everybody else does is when I sat down with him and gave him the game plan, he put in the work. He stayed up all night. He got the work done, and now he's enjoying the fruit of his labor simply because he put in the work. And
Well,
we got a lazy culture. We
well,
are
here's the
lazy.
thing. Here's the thing that you say something. You just took the words right out of my mouth. Everybody wants strategy. They want supply. But supply is attached to strategy. But the key to strategy is structure and systems.
That's it.
People, we fail to realize that structure and systems is so biblical. Noah built the ark based on a structure, and there was systems. How many animals you could bring in that were
Yep.
clean and unclean. All through the Bible, you see structure, systems, strategy, and then supply. And so, we quote God does things decent in order, but that's in everything. We have to have structure. We got to system, save yourself time, energy, and money. You know
That's
what I
right.
mean? And
That's
so
right.
without the structure and the systems, that's where the discipline comes in. The structure and the systems and everything. Like when I started my restaurant, I started it, it blew up, but I didn't have structure and systems. I had a strategy, but I lost a lot of money and made a lot of mistakes because I didn't have that structure and that system, which would have been the discipline that I needed.
It's all of that. And the thing is that with the structure and the system, you got to have the structure and the system in order to execute and get to the final goal, which is to find to prosper in what you put your hands to.
But I think that one of the things, like you talked about stewardship, stewardship is management.
That's
You
all.
can't manage without structure and systems. Like you gotta have. It's like I grew up. We had the street light that was part of the structure and the
Mhm.
system. You know what I mean? You didn't go into my mom's refrigerator. We ate at the table. We had to we had to be in bed by a certain time. My mom had a structured house, and there were systems within that house that you
Mhm.
had to abide by, and it spared our lives. And we had to, live by those things. That was stewardship. Stewardship is managing, but you can't manage if there's not checks and balances, if there's not structure and systems and everything.
That's amazing. And that's where we are. I give people strategies all the time. How can I save more money on my taxes? How can I stop paying the IRS? I give you the strategy and they ask me if it's guaranteed. It's only guaranteed if you work it. Because the thing about a strategy is you got to execute it step by step. And the other thing when we talk about having a lazy culture is you cannot skip steps.
Nope, not at all.
There is no cutting corners, there's no back door because it will all find you out, catch up to you. I have been so disappointed through the 18 years that I've been running my own business with the fact that people rather lie for what they see as financial gain than to be honest and not have to worry about the lie that they told 10 years back when the IRS comes knocking on the door. It is um it's a crazy place to be in, but I understand that we are in a culture that wants that instant gratification. Even a tax return to some people is instant gratification, with them lacking the understanding that it's already their money, it's their own money that they paid into a system and given the IRS a loan. Stewardship teaches us that we render unto Caesar what's due unto him. We give him what is due. I tell people all the time in meetings, if you're giving him more than what's due to him, then you're getting a refund. You're not a good steward.
Well, I mean, but you think about that though. Most of the time, we were brought up to get a tax refund, but
Uh-huh.
but when you really look at it, the wealthy don't get tax refunds.
No, it's a mindset.
Yeah, and it goes back to that, but it goes back to the environment and how we were brought up and different things like that. So, um, you know, the structure and the systems. That's what it boils down to. When you look at stewardship, the better your stewardship is going to be better when you have structure and systems and strategies in which you are functioning by and everything. So yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
I, I
So,
see I see it in
yeah,
the lines of what I do now with helping people hear you're approved. And
right.
I realize that whether it's a car, a credit card, a home, business funding, or whatever, we all want to be approved. But if we don't understand the structure and the systems and the strategies, we won't hear that. We'll keep hearing deny, 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 and everything. So yeah.
And I had some a revelation when it came to that, and we're going to get into it. Um, literally a revelation, because when we look at approved and we're going to talk about what you're exactly getting into, I want to point out that you never know what's happening behind the scenes, what one person is looking at based on what one report says or what another says when we're talking about credit. But before we get into that, because we got a few more minutes, I want you to tell the people what leadership has taught you about legacy. And what do you believe that people should be building? What do you
Did you
believe that?
ask me what leadership taught me about legacy?
Yes, and
You want
what?
me to be honest about that?
Of course.
My leader, the people I've been under ain't talking to me about legacy.
Okay,
Legacy is the one word that drives me. I haven't been taught about legacy.
come on.
I see it in the Bible, but I've been under set up under, and this is no shade. You ask me a question, I gotta be honest.
You got to be. But this is where we.
No, they
This is
they
why the
I
podcast
didn't
is this.
like I've never been taught about legacy. I learned legacy on my own. See, inheritance is what you leave for them. Legacy is what you leave in them.
Wow.
Legacy is the blueprint.
Yeah.
Legacy is the okay, just say for instance, if you wanted a cake, right? You
Mm-hmm.
got a couple options. You can go buy a cake, right?
Right.
Or you can bake a cake,
Right.
but you need the ingredients.
Right.
But what's more important is you need the recipe. See, if I
That's
got the
right.
recipe and I got the ingredients, then I can make the cake.
That's right.
But when you just go get the cake, you're dependent upon the one who had the ingredients and the recipe. We
That's
are
good.
teaching people to go buy the cake and not bake the cake or create the bakery.
Well, I'm here with you tonight to give people the ingredients, and that is the main reason for this idea and for this podcast, because we want to give people the steps, the blueprints, and I want to put them in contact with people that can change their life. So my last question is, and we're going to get into all of the things that you're doing. What do you want people to understand that they should be building beyond just income?
I think that what people need to be, uh, we need to be focused on assets,
Build assets beyond just income.
creating, because watch this, there's human assets and then there's um, capital assets. Human assets is when you trade, you're working for your money. Capital assets is when your money is working for you.
All right. So let's
So,
talk about it.
but then we got to also understand that income is different than cash flow,
Come
because
on.
income is what you got coming in. Cash flow is what you got left. So income minus expenses equals cash flow.
All right. So now let's
Income,
get into it.
Income
Income
minus
minus
expenses equals cash flow. Cash flow is what's left. Okay, you could take somebody that's making $100,000 a year, but
mhm.
they got $99,900 worth of debt. So they
Right.
only got $100 left. But you could take somebody who's got $40,000 worth of income, but they got $25,000 of expenses. So they got $15,000. So it's not how much you make, it's how much you get to keep.
That's exactly right. And in the
But
process
watch this though,
of,
Cisco. Let me say
go
this.
ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
We think income is what we make on the outside. Income is inside.
All right. Now you got to break it down. You
No,
can't lead the people like that.
inc see, we think income is what somebody gives us. But
Mm,
let's go back to the original thing. Income is inside of you. Like I determine how much money I want to make
yes.
because I get it on the inside of me. Remember the
Mm,
idea. And then income leads to output.
right. Right.
So what we should be calling is outcome. Income is in you. It's not outside of you.
Wow.
So we're looking at output, but it's got to be income inside of you first. That's mindset.
That's right. All
Jacob
of it.
changed how cattle produce because what he got on the inside of him. And so, okay, I'm gonna tell you something. That I play this little game with me all the time.
Come
Right.
on.
I see people. I go to places like I was in the mall last night, and I seen a guy washing the windows in the stores in the mall. And I looked at him and I said, the reason why he's there is because he saw himself there. Well, why would you say that? Because he went and applied.
Mm,
See, you only go apply if you see yourself there. You mi- don't miss it.
don't miss it.
You only will go apply if you see yourself there. You will only run for president if you see yourself as the president. If you don't see yourself as the president, you'll never run. You'll only say welcome to McDonald's because you saw yourself at McDonald's. And
Wow.
because you saw yourself at McDonald's, you went to McDonald's and applied. Your application reveals where you see yourself, and that determines your outcome, your income.
Woo. That was so good. I hope all of y'all caught what he said. That was so good. If you didn't catch it, rewind it and hear it again, write it down because that is so good. You have to see where it is that you are applying yourself. It just made me think about the doors that we walk into. When you see yourself on stages, when you see yourself in arenas, when you see yourself in a new home or in a new place, when you see yourself driving a new car, you have to envision where you're going. You can't just choose, you apply to be in those places. So I need you to, I know you're going to tell me something
No, watch this though.
profound.
Watch this though. I am setting in a vehicle that I saw myself in before I got in it naturally.
Okay.
I wanted a cue. And so the Holy Spirit said, but the thing about it is we gotta become specific. So the income means that we gotta take control of our imagination. We gotta
Mhm.
design our creativity. So literally, when I got this car, I didn't get it till I became very specific. So it was like, okay, you want a Q? Which model? I didn't know there were different models. So I had to find out. Oh, I want the big one. I want a QX80. And then Holy Spirit came back to me and said, what color? I said, oh my God, black. I want a black one. Then he said to me, okay, how do you want it on the inside? And I was like, I want bucket seats and blah, blah. So when it came time for me to get one, I went and looked at one, and it was black. It had the right interior. It had a bench seat, and when I went and looked at it, um, I was like, okay, I'll get that one. I'll get that one. I'll get
You're
that
going
one.
to settle.
And I was gonna settle. And the thing about it is, that same night I went back and got on the computer. And this one was in Raleigh. I found the exact one that was a year older, had less miles, and it was exactly what I wanted. And I'm sitting in it right now. Once I found what I wanted, what I designed inside of me, the financing for it and everything just came to pass because I had it inside of me. And so here's the thing, sis. Um, a prosperity, we talk about mindset, but you got to also go to the end of the thing and um go. What does it feel like when you accomplish what you want? So I went and when I saw people in QX80s, I would go set in them and I would get the feeling of it. So I got the accomplishment, but then I also got the feeling. And once I got the feeling on the inside of me, lights out, lights out. Everything else lined up. So I tell people, go to the end of what the accomplishment looks like. What does it look like to be prosperous? And then attach three feelings to it. Three feelings, because watch this. If the accomplishment can produce a feeling, then the feeling can produce the accomplishment. And you got to stay in the feeling. You got to stay in the feeling because I don't care what I went. I was still driving my minivan and all that, but I had my picture of my QX80. I was specific and I'm sitting in it right now. Like you were saying, I'm going to live overlooking Panther Stadium.
Yes.
Without a shadow of a doubt. Because you know why? I've already been there and I got feelings attached. So I got the feeling. I got the blueprint. I look at it all the time. It's right in front of me. So I've already accomplished it. So everything is going to line up in order for me to get there, and I'm going to get there.
I love that. And that's a powerful lesson when we talk about having a prosperity blueprint. You've got to write that out. You've got to envision what it looks like for you and what that success means. And so tell everyone what it is that you mean by approvals and more. I want to make sure that they know how to contact you, what it is that you're able to help them accomplish in this season.
Well, AKA the credit repair industry, there's so many people who do it. And people focus on scores. And about 4 weeks ago, I went to God in prayer and I was like, I want to do something different. What is it that what is it I can do different? And a true story, when last July, I had a 778 credit score and I went to go apply for some stuff that I wanted to be approved for, and I got shut down. I got turned down. 778. Well, a few months ago with a 685, I went and applied and I got approved. So from that time, I learned that there's a difference between a credit score and a credit profile. And I understand what the lenders are looking for. They're not looking at your credit score only. They're looking at your profile. You know, as Black people, we talk about we are racially profiled. But when it comes to approval, the one thing they don't ask you for on an application is your ethnicity, because they don't care. They don't care. They don't ask you if you Black, white, Hispanic when you're going to, what they're looking for is your profile. So what I do in my company is that we help people prepare to hear you approve. We engineer approvals by looking at the whole sum total of the credit profile, because the profile determines the score. And like you can have like one of my spiritual daughters, her mom put her on as an authorized user. She had a 740 credit score, but she was just an authorized user. Wasn't nobody going to approve her for nothing. That's good. But so what we started doing is showing her how to get our own Discover card and different things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So we're building her profile because that's what lenders are looking for. They're looking for specific profiles. When you go to Credit Karma, one of the things I love about Credit Karma breaks down the profile, tells you like your payment history, your utilization. It tells you how many accounts, how many inquiries. It's got 6 boxes that's really showing you how you build your profile. So that's what we do with our company is that we actually help people prepare to hear the word you approve.
I love that. So the last segment in this podcast is let's be honest. So I'm going to say let's be honest, and you fill in the blanks.
Okay.
First of all, before we do that, tell the people how they can get in contact with you.
Of course, my number is direct number is 336 362 336 362 I'm on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Anthony Q Knots. So I'm on all those platforms and everything. Yeah.
All right, so you all can check him out. So let's give the people, out of all the things we talked about tonight, this is the prosperity blueprint. We talked about mindset, we talked about legacy and leadership, stewardship. Out of all of that, how would you complete this sentence? Let's be honest.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest and stop avoiding the inevitable. You will never kill a giant that you don't face. And because we don't want to deal with certain things, we avoid. So let's be honest and let's stop avoiding. Like I usually didn't like confrontation because I grew up in a very abusive household. So I avoided confrontation and I wasn't being honest with myself. So let's be honest and let's stop avoiding the things that we need to be confronting because giants don't guard small blessings.
Wow, that's powerful. So thank you for being here with me tonight.
It's my pleasure.
This is awesome, and I hope that you'll come back and share more.
Anytime.
Because this is what we are going to do. We are going to teach legacy. Prosperity isn't just what reaches your hands, it's what changes your habits, it's what changes your home, and what will change your future. I hope tonight has been a blessing to each and every one of you. Thank you, Pastor Knox, for being here.
Thank you.
And thank you to my executive producers and engineers tonight for putting up with us as we run a little bit over time. But we pray that we've been a blessing to the people, and we'll see you next week. Same time, same channel. God bless.
God bless.
Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for watching another episode on James H. Glover Network. We appreciate you for all of your love, all of your support, and all of your just comments. Now what I need y'all to do is, like it says right here, like and subscribe. Also, I need y'all to share, and I need y'all to tag, and I need y'all to turn on that notification bell over here on YouTube. That lets YouTube know that you like content like this. On behalf of everyone here at the network, we appreciate you because we couldn't release content the way that we do without your support. So as I always say, sometimes our disappointments are nothing more than God's appointments, meaning some things that we look at as bad, God is only turning it around for our good. Stay blessed, be blessed, and be a blessing to someone else. And I'll see y'all on the next episode. Peace.